Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, but most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, with the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. In a moment, I'm going to transition to my photos so I can share the show on social media, and I would encourage anybody who is currently in the live stream to please also share the show. One last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Oh, we've got our first guest in already. Happy days. We have got Lewis. Excellent. Bear with me a second. Let's raise the mic on you, Lewis. How you doing? Good to have you here.
Really good. Get my volume adjusted right where you need it.
I have indeed.
Every time.
Been joined by Invalid...
Louis.
Oops.
What's up?
Been joined by Invalid Inquiry. How you doing? Good to have you here.
That's Pete Shea. We need to remove him.
Oh, it's Tim Osman. Good to have you here, Tim.
I'm gonna remove him real quick. Yo, what's up? Hey, I was actually listening to you, you Lewis. Excellent stuff, brother. Excellent
Thank you.
stuff. I actually like you better with your wit, doing what you're doing than what you did in the past. Truthfully, this is just absolutely golden, dude.
Yeah, I'm changing things up. You know, my energy is better spent doing what I'm doing now.
Hey Nathan, I was actually going to start selling Eleanor t-shirts that says "I'm with stupid" and it has an arrow towards you. Would you be upset with that?
The Earth is
Hopefully
a
not.
ball. I just thought I'd let everyone know real
Don't
quick.
say it's a ball. Say it's a sphere, dude.
Okay, a sphere. The Earth is a sphere. I thought I'd let everyone know real quick. There's nothing wrong with being correct.
These idiots like to live in their own fantasy land, though, man. It's really silly stuff. Like Arwen, he just he's going on about real optics, and he has absolutely no way to justify anything that he says. He just makes stuff up. And I would like to point out Tranny, what's her name? Trans Brenda, actually completely smashed him the other night when he pulled up a video and said it was a flat Earth video, and it was actually a sphere Earth perspective video. Oh, just beautiful, just gorgeous.
Yeah. I was wondering that when I saw it, but I wasn't sure what video it was, and I couldn't be bothered, to go find out.
Yeah. He provides absolutely no evidence. He's just like, oh, look at my liked playlist. It's like, no, you're an assertion factory, and I'm not really interested in that. It's like he calls me a liar, but I'm like, hey guys, there are two celestial points. And then he says stars are holograms. And then I say, what am I supposed to say to that?
Well, I mean, holograms require a whole lot more explaining than the two celestial points. So, but I'm not here to try and explain things to people that don't want to understand, because it's understandable. It's like someone doesn't want to accept that 2 + 2 is 4. You can't convince them that it is. So we'll wait.
Yeah.
There will be flat earthers coming in here in no time, I'm sure. And then Nathan will be there to back them up. and we'll be right back at it, having a jolly time. Any of you guys play Dark Souls? You know Dark Souls? This is the game that Anthony Riley's avatar picture comes from.
Oh, really? I was wondering. You said that
Yes.
that one time. Is that what you're playing right now, obviously?
Yeah, this is the third Dark Souls game. His, I think, comes from the first one, but it might be this one as well. We got a
If I
big old
play a
arrow
game,
sticking out my ankle.
I play the original EverQuest,
Eh,
which is from 1999. The two.
dang.
That's about it.
There's a lot of badass monsters in this game. Like this giant right here. This guy, we can fight him. I better run away. He will push the ground.
This is what this
Oh.
should actually turn into. We should just game on here. Just fill up the panel
Yeah.
with gamers. Just a LAN party on Nathan Oakley's Flat Earth debate.
And there is multiplayer in this game. It's quite good. It's tied right into the normal RPG play style of the game.
Nice.
Quite a nice
Yeah, it looks pretty
system. I
good.
like it a lot. Yeah. I mean, some people don't like these games because you have to memorize the timing of your enemies, but they're not, I don't know, it doesn't take that long. Once you're familiar with how the games tend to go, it's a lot easier to.
Yeah, that's actually why I like the original EverQuest, because it's so hard and unforgiving. And like World of Warcraft, you can get like a maximum level character within a few days. This game takes literally like almost a year playtime to get max level. So
Yeah, there just
literally.
isn't a whole lot in the way of punishment in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like the
I
worst
guess
you'll
the
get is if
PvP was pretty fun though. It was pretty
the
freaking
PvP was
hard.
not bad. Yeah.
There's Mrs. Twitty Witty. She's a funny gal in the chat box.
She
Let me know.
is. Twitwit has trolled me multiple times, and I never, I like to pride myself on not getting trolled, but then a lot of people tell me that I get trolled pretty easily. So I guess maybe, I don't know. She's trolled me.
I think your new demeanor just absolutely is above all. Like, there's no way that you can be trolled with that demeanor, because at the beginning, these clowns like Nathaniel Oakley here and Riley, they're literally here to troll people. They're literally here to get under people's skin. And when you notice that, when you realize that, you anymore. And at the end of the day, then they just become wrong and they become ineffective trolls. And that's basically where I'm at with them. Just don't even, I'm done with the debate. There is no debate, I mean,
None.
they come on here and have 10 shows about refraction and mirages and then say they're, oh, standard refraction, all this is not real. And then, well, now they're saying that there's refraction and mirages. So it's just, it's beyond intellectually dishonest, man. It's so sad.
We'll find out where they're at later. It's ever changing EverQuest for quest for knowledge and truth. Killing Silver Knights.
Yeah, we should
Game.
get Arwen on here, because he should tell us about how reality is. In that, he's a professional of optics. He knows math, though he doesn't know Pythagoras, or actually he doesn't know any kind of trig or anything like that. But he knows math very well. He knows optics as well, just by saying that I know optics. That's all I've ever heard him say. This kid, I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad, dude. It's really sad.
All you have to do to be a flat earther is say, I understand, in the middle of other people speaking. It's like if you ever watched.
But I'm just not dishonest, man. I'm not dishonest with myself, and I'm not dishonest. I don't like to be dishonest to anybody. So I can't do it,
like if you've ever seen Two and a Half Men, there's that Charlie Sheen show. Not a very good show. But he had this. There was one episode where he was just giving advice on how he deals with women, and he basically just says, "I understand" after everything. And it was just like this little bit where the woman's complaining about her life, and he's like, "I understand." And she's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yes." And she just like, that was it. That's all the further conversation went. And it's like,
Nice.
yep, that's all they're doing. They're just saying, "I understand." And then you're like, okay, all right, well, if you understand, then you shouldn't think the earth is flat.
Yeah, that's what's funny is they're like, we understand the spherical model because we watched the Redux version from Eric Dubay, and then you ask them simple things, and really what it is it's an omitted version of the spherical model. I mean, things like the two celestial points, they don't have the conception skills to even understand what that means in the first place. So, they can say they understand things, but
Yeah,
no
anybody can pronounce
practicality.
words.
Yeah, there's no practicality in flat Earth. It doesn't matter how you slice it or dice it. The problem is that they threw the baby out with the bathwater as far as the spherical model goes. I'm still yet sitting here trying to figure out what is wrong with the spherical model when it comes to the stars, sun, and moon. It actually works perfectly. And if you don't feel like you're moving and you don't feel like there's any measurable curvature and you don't feel like water can bend, well, those are just your feelings and your emotions. And then you have these suppositions that lead you into faulty premises that you're trying to prove for years and years and years. So it's just hilarious, man. It's hilarious. Like they're so
Yeah,
stupid.
I know. And I mean, I feel like we are also sort of stupid if we really sit there and think about it, because we're bothering to waste our time with them. We could be bettering ourselves, but we don't have anything else that we can think of to do.
Well, truthfully, man, I'm doing a lot more nowadays. I'm not
Well,
here as much, and I will not debate the topic with people that are like Riley and Nathan and stuff. Like, if there's somebody that's seriously looking for answers and I can tell isn't really conspiratorial biased, I'll love to talk to them and try to tell them what I found out in a Redux version over the past couple of years. But they can't take the knowledge away from me that I did learn through the trial by fire that is flat Earth. This knowledge that we do have was worth it to me. It's not just about the shape of the Earth either, or astronomy, cosmogony, cosmology. It's about sociology. It's about conspiracy theorists and conspiratorial biases. It's about the sociological, psychological aspects of it all. It's very interesting. Most people will just kind of get mad and say, "Oh, we're against flat earthers," but really, I find that use stress in things and try to find uh, different ways to learn stuff. So I've learned a lot, a ton, dude, a ton. So it's worth it to me. But I can't learn much more here. Is this link not working for the flat earthers? Because they seem to have convictions that they don't like to back up in any way possible. So it's
huh?
it's like come on, guys, we're here. We're gonna try to prove the globe to you. You know. God,
I mean,
so
I'm
pathetic.
not going to try and prove that. Like, I've already said everything I need to.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Me
I'll
neither, dude.
respond to things that they say, but I mean, it's a globe. Like, that's all there is. If they want to try and prove the refraction doesn't work the way that I think it does, if they want to look at a photo and say, "Hey, what's wrong with this photo?" I'll let them know that there's probably nothing wrong with the photo, and if there is, I'll let them know what it is. But I mean, there's just nothing. Just, it's a
Yeah, I don't
non-conversation.
pretend to know everything, but I know enough to know that the Earth is not flat. That's kind of the point. Until better evidence is provided to kind of be able to map empirically what is perfectly explained through the spherical model, I'm just not going to take it very seriously because these people don't understand the sphere model that they think that they've debunked through Morgile, the Snorgile, or Globebusters, or any of the people that have come and gone throughout the past. I mean, look, you can just look around, like Dread. Oh, he's a smart one. Nathan Oakley, like, oh yeah, he's a good guy or whatever with all that he's done in the past. I mean, there's no one legit, dude. No one, man. And Chris is like this Chris Van Matry or whatever his name is one of the closest. But then again, I've talked to him before where he just brings up what is that King's Dethroned? Just propaganda. That's all they know how to do is spread and disseminate propaganda. It's not about truth at all.
Nathan, if you want to go ahead and present me, I've got demonstrations of how we've all been brainwashed, and this would help.
I'm surprised this is an actual show, dude.
I know.
Oh man. Shout out to
I got him, dude. I killed that guy. Did you see that? Did you see that? I won that one too. You can block in this game. You can attack in this game. What more do you want? Oh, this guy has the same armor I do.
Oh, it's funny. Sleeping Warrior. Riley's in the chat. Tim and Lewis are repellent to decent conversation. Okay. Then
Yep.
tuck your tail.
I mean, I guess this is the only place that we can get decent conversation, right? There's no other place. I mean, you couldn't go on your own channel, right, and do that yourself.
Well, I'm too logical for him. He learned that when I did go onto his channel and tried to get to the base logic of his assertions and his intent, really, why he's actually out here doing this. And
Seems to me that
go ahead.
it just seems to me that Anthony wants to, or Sleeping wants to. Oh, this guy ran away like Sleeping Warrior. By the way, Anthony, Sleeping Warrior, this game is where your avatar comes from for your Google thing. But it seems to me he wants to make Nathan, give him control, take control, give him suggestions on what he should do in his show, which is fine, of course. I do that constantly to Nathan as well. I mean, I just, I'm right. Best. If you're going to call it a debate, Nathan, then you should give it some structure. If you want to be a moderator, you should moderate.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. It's just like, I tried to help him out. I sent him one email on the same email to two different email accounts because I didn't know which one he checked. And it's from knowledge of tech. It's from knowledge of doing stuff in the past. And basically, he said that I was trying to be his friend and just trying to tell him a few pointers and tips and stuff like that. So he's as stubborn as Dogmatic Dell when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I stopped trying. It's a shame because this could be a lot better, but I'm not complaining because it is basically the only that I actually watch anymore because it is kind of a fair share for both sides. Whereas anywhere else, it's a complete flat earth echo chamber where they just sit back and pretend like they have it all figured out and try to make money off of people. So I would support Nathan. Actually, I do. I try to tell people not to. Try to tell people not to, snipe and do all that nasty stuff on here because he is spending probably 4 hours a day doing this, and he's probably not making much at all. So
got a new guest though.
Hey, guys.
Near base, how you doing?
Hey, Nathan.
Bit quiet. I'll tell you about. Good to have you here.
All right, thank you. It's a pretty good debate so far, right?
yeah, dude.
Sure is.
This is sick.
80 people are watching and no one's joined. It's
It's cool. I just won another duel, so
that's cool.
Yep. If any of you play Dark Souls 3, no doubt you recognize the area of the game I'm in. You could come fight me right now. I'm on PC.
I don't play that game.
Is that like a massive multiplayer online role playing game?
No, it's not a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, but it's a player online and it is a role-playing game. But
Nice.
it's not a MMORPG like WoW.
Gotcha.
Ape.
Dude, EverQuest changed me for life. Like I love MMORPGs, even though I really don't play that much. I just love it. I don't know. I always thought it would be cool if they would like map the whole world like Google did, but like
Yeah.
have I don't know, a game based on that where everybody just like builds their own house and does all kinds of stuff. I thought that'd be cool.
I think that'd be awesome. You could
Arlen's
just
in the
drive
chat.
around. You could go. You could, yeah. It'd be
Shout out to
cool
Arlen. Go
if
ahead
they
and
made a.
hop in here. Go ahead.
Oh. It'd be great if we had like oh, this guy's chasing me down the buttresses here. It'd be cool if we had a way to go to other people's houses and then oh, he's gonna get me. He got me. If we could go to like my house, like I could go in the game to other people's houses and then
That'd be
I don't know, we
insane.
could destroy
Yeah.
their house.
Be like Second Life, but like actual simulated real life.
Yeah.
I mostly
It'd
just play
take
KSP.
you, it'd take you 13 hours to go drive to Texas and meet someone.
That's one thing about the regular EverQuest, dude. It was like it would take literally hours to walk to some zones, and then I don't know, everything they started doing expansions, and then you could, click on something and you would just teleport places, and that's always what happens. Sony bought out Variant a long time ago and completely changed the game, but
Hmm.
is there any flatards out there that want to come on and prove the flat earth to people that are open, actual skeptics?
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
no?
probably in the
They're
chat.
scared?
Yeah, I don't know. 80 people
Yeah.
watching and 85 people watching and no one's joining. I don't know why this is, but
I'm happy, man. I'm
yeah,
happy
I mean,
because I'm becoming more popular. There are people that are listening to me, and when
yeah.
I am listened to, I really feel a lot better about myself,
Oh,
truthfully.
okay. Oh yeah. Yesterday I proved the height of the space station. I went to go see a solar transit, and I had 2 observers, and yeah, I proved the height. I think the number I got was 252.1 or something miles. So,
What what is a given that would be kind of a supposition that you'd have to plug in to get that,
givens,
though?
the Google Earth distance, the altitude of the sun, the center of the sun, and the angular diameter of the sun. Those are my givens I got online. So unless you can
Okay.
disprove that, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna attempt to like disprove the angular side of the sun. That'd kind of be ridiculous. Um, yeah.
Well, Anthony Riley would. He believes that you can't even do it angular
Oh,
size, but
yeah.
A new
that's
guest.
pretty good, man. That's a
How you
lot better
doing,
than I
True
thought,
Seeker?
actually.
Good
I've
to
never
have
done
you
that
here.
myself.
Can you hear us?
Happy holidays. Thanks.
Happy holidays to you. Good to have you here.
Hey, Lie Seeker, how you doing, buddy? Hey, do you have any proof that the Earth is flat yet, or no?
Well, of course not. No.
Anyway, this is
No.
the transit. So the white lines represent the path of the transit, and the green lines are just that, and the numbers are just the altitude in degrees. So at this point, at that point, it's 29.377 degrees up, above the horizon, and at that point, slightly higher, and that point, slightly lower. And I measured in
Do you mind if I
pixels.
ask how old you are? Near?
16. Yeah, and I measured the pixels in between there, and then found the parallax, and then I went on a triangle calculator, plugged it in, and got a distance, and from the distance I plugged in, that and got that number, which I just subtracted from the radius of the Earth and got 2,252 miles. So yeah.
The radius of the Earth. There you go. That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, and the radius of the Earth is a given. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the big one that they'll bring up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have an Imgur thing you can see. Let me get to it.
How old are you, dude? I forget.
16.
Yeah, see, I mean, this is hilarious. We thought you were 15 to begin with, but a 16-year-old absolutely schools people that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Absolutely schools them.
He would if he actually had a way to tangibly measure the object and prove that it's an intangible object.
How is he not tangibly measuring it? How is he not tangibly? He just showed how he measured it.
Yeah, apparent angles. You aren't measuring anything in reality.
Yeah, I am.
So he did measure something, correct?
You're just jealous you can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is nothing left to say there. All right, he measured it. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's a video. I put an Imgur link. I would put it in the chat.
Jeez.
I'll just
You don't understand what's going on.
Just to deny stuff.
That's
There's no reason to deny it. It's just like he can't measure anything, and then oh yeah, he did measure something. It's like oh okay, good job, dude. Good refutation there, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you have any evidence or proof that the Earth is flat yet, Lie Seeker? No. Dang, that's too bad. I'm still waiting for some evidence or proof that the Earth is flat, guys.
Oh yeah, I also did the calculation. Given that the Earth was flat, and I think it came up to about 232 miles. So even if it was flat, it's still high up there.
How you doing, P Mars? Good to have you.
You can take this Blue Dream and carbon copy what it looks like, real weed, print it out, smoke it, because it'll get higher than what you smoking on Chumpzilla.
That's so, P.
I forgot
Thanks
I said
for that, P. That's really helpful. Good to have you here.
Yep.
Nice.
It is really helpful, Nathan.
Actually,
just about as helpful as thinking the Earth's flat.
That's a sexy hand, guys. Who thinks that's a sexy hand? I bet Twitwit does. Oof. Almost as sexy as them buds I got in my hand. So well done, your base. That's awesome, dude.
Thank you.
I probably literally would have to look up how to do that myself.
It took him hours. He was doing the calculations last night.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Thank you.
Did you happen to I guess compare the angular size of the ISS and this to the sun?
Yeah, I measured the angular size. I think it was 9.5 pixels, and then I plugged that into a angular size calculator and I got 313 feet or whatever. So the size also matched.
Nice, dude. Yeah, they like to they don't even think about their assertions. They don't follow the logical conclusions. So some of them will say oh, it's closer. There's no way that it's 250 miles, and oh, it's in the atmosphere. And then it's well, so how is something going so fast inside of the atmosphere? And what material is it? And so then they'll say it's a balloon. A balloon is going 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I guess if it was closer, it would be slower. But yeah, so a balloon in the atmosphere is more plausible to them than the orbit that can be tracked. I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable.
How you doing, Lassie? Good to have you here. Can you hear us?
Wait, what?
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Good to have you.
Hi. Also, I want to point out I made this calculator a refraction calculator or non-standard refraction calculator. So basically, you enter in the height in meters, the pressure, the temperature of the observer, so it's just 283. I'm just making that up, and then the ground temperature, or the temperature above the water, let's just say 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin lower, and
Wow.
it would give you the K. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in. The K value, the RFF or REFF, I think that's like the
Reflection
ratio.
or-
Yeah,
what?
and then the radius, the apparent radius in miles and kilometers. And this is
This
the
is a 16-year-old, yeah.
yeah, that's my
How you doing, Tony?
Oh, you're
Can you hear
shaming me,
us?
buddy. Good stuff.
Thank
Hey
you.
Nathan, what's up, guys?
I was smart.
Hi.
When I was
Good to have you.
16.
What up, dude?
I just want to say hi to Curved, Cat Earth, and I am Rick, and you guys.
Hi.
Well, I hope you are all enjoying the debate thus far, calm though it is. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside these shows while they're live. But most importantly, if you would like to join the debate to challenge anything that's currently being said, simply click on the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. With that, I'll pass you back to the action. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Nathan doesn't answer questions he doesn't like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there has to be someone for him to defend, for him to get involved, other than himself.
A lot of truth being told here.
I'm just glad we can have these amazing conversations.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, they have.
I don't really see it that way. But,
Oh, I think it's.
I mean,
very
I mean,
good
you
on,
were
like,
speaking for yourself.
I think it's good on like self-control, even though I haven't showed much. But I'm starting to learn how like crazy people think, and it's different. It's definitely different than me. I'm kind of jealous, really.
I mean, there's one thing that I think maybe we can all agree upon, and it's that you can be really stupid and still survive. And I think that's a great
Yeah.
thing.
That's so
Right.
smart. Yeah, that's
Sorry
right.
to interrupt, guys. Got a couple of new guests. We've got, I think the first one in was, I know he's gone already. Is he reset? No, just Skyfly. How you doing, Bri? Good to have you.
Well, if you're in Nazi Germany, they would
No, Bri. Maybe not.
sterilize you if you're too stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, there are good arguments to be made that sterilization should be implemented, but those arguments would all trample all over individual sovereignty. So
Yeah, we have to
Yes, God
eliminate
forbid we do that.
individual sovereignty first.
So, who's our new guest? I think it's someone that might have just been booted, perhaps. We shall see. How you doing, new guest?
Hey, Robert, how you doing there?
Robert. How you doing?
guys.
Hello there, Robert.
Yeah,
Good
it's
to have
Timmy
you.
Osman. Arwen came in to snipe 2 of my accounts, so well done, Arwen. You're gone now.
No need, no need.
apparently there is a need for Arwen.
He doesn't like when I tell him that he lives in his own delusions and his own daydreams. He doesn't
Yeah.
seem to like that one.
It's so true though. Like I may have met someone as delusional and like living in a fantasy world as him, but I can't remember. I don't know. I think he really like he's crazy.
I have mixed feelings on psychics and fortune tellers. You know, I think it's wrong that they lie to people for money, but at the same time, if you're stupid enough to believe someone, maybe you should have some of your money taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does that go for the Indian scammers that I talked to that
Yeah, right.
entrap
Same
older
applies.
people?
Well, no, see, because you have to be, you can be smart enough to know that superstition and magic are all fake, but still be tricked by a scammer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to point out for the sake of truth, I'm guessing that Arwen isn't the sniper. It's probably somebody like Captain Bullshit using an Arwen sock account. So it does say Arwen sniped me on 2 accounts, but it's probably not him. I don't think it would be him.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that.
Yeah,
He does
just for the
get
sake of
mad,
brevity.
though. He does get mad when you call him out on his BS, though. But
Yeah, dude. Did you see him? He couldn't even last 15 minutes with Soundly. I mean, just how pathetic he is, dude.
He's in a
well,
chat.
no, I mean, really, none of them can really. No, I mean, as soon as within at least a minute, they're gonna say something about the bird, CGI or something. You know, I mean, they don't give him the respect he deserves. And to say that Ranty and Anthony, the work they did on these photos is worthy to stand up next to someone like Soundly is ridiculous. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually what's more hypocritical and hilarious is where Anthony will use some of Soundly's work that goes with his narrative. So
Yeah.
he'll say, "Oh, look, here's Soundly's videos that it shows lights are bending upwards." But then he'll completely deny all of everything else that shows basically a curve. And that just shows how intellectually dishonest that guy is. He can't, that's why he doesn't come in with me, because he knows it won't work.
Yeah, there's certain people that he just won't. He'll get mad and say something, about you and then jump right off. Curved too. He hates curved.
Oh yeah, curved. Yeah, curved he's too logical for Riley to get away with all his nonsense.
Well, I think Riley's just here for practice of being a lawyer anyways. I think he's using this platform to maybe bone up on his debating skills or arguing, even though he's really not, even though he's always wrong, at least he keeps the argument going.
Oh yeah, he's trying to get some hot Karen Pettit booty tang. That is one. She reminds me of a female version of Chunk from the Goonies. But man,
the truffle
Chunk.
You guys.
Maybe that's his type of woman.
Baby Ruth.
I haven't seen that movie.
Or maybe he's just that desperate. Has anyone ever seen his girlfriend? Because I'm sure she's probably just as horrendous. I'm guessing.
Well, I'm sure.
She was at the Flat Earth meetup. I seen
her.
He can't take care of himself. He's got like this big beer belly where he basically can't even like somebody was saying, I think it was Lewis, that was an excellent point out there, where he just walks like 5 feet and he's like basically out of breath. I mean, this guy is...
like that guy from
the guy from people told
Adam
me
Sandler,
crossed the
Adam
line
Sandler videos
with that comment, but it's true, so I don't know.
No, that's not out of line at all. Sometimes you have to be very upfront with people, because then they either say, "Oh, you're play the victim and say, "Oh, you're mad, you're a bad person," or they change themselves, and that's what I do when I get comments like that. Which I can't get a comment like that. I got abs that can literally wash clothes on, so it's a washing board. Yeah. Hello, Brenda. How are you?
Yeah. Hello.
Good to have you, Brenda.
Can you
hear me? Brenda. Yeah, we can hear you.
Good to have you, Brenda.
Internet was a little bit wonky for me a while ago.
We just have to make fun of the content of Tim's character instead, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there are people who are far worse than anybody I've met on Flat Earth in terms of how they take care of their body.
Oh yeah.
And I make fun of them too, so there's nothing personal. Fun of people for that reason. It's because they should be made fun of for that. There are things that I do wrong that people make fun of me for, and you can tell when you should be made fun of.
Yeah, it's true. I know when I get teased or something, and it's something that I have done that I can fix it. I fix it. Well, I'll try to fix it at least as much as I can.
How you doing, epistemology? Good to have you.
Howdy. Wrecked.
You're kind of describing what like Bertrand Russell talked about, how They like control us through like shame. And
Dude, P-Mars, you
social
entirely
shame.
ignore the harshness of nature itself. You attribute to mankind what everyone else rightly attributes to nature.
You're a
Shout out to
moron.
Patricia Steer in the chat. Woohoo!
Yep, that's probably
Good to have
true.
you.
There you go with that shame thing.
Well, what are you talking about? Like nature?
I don't know.
You're
I don't
talking
know, man.
fucking
I
absolute
guess
nonsense.
I guess we're not on the same page. I thought, that was a pretty salient exchange there, but maybe not.
No. You're like super indoctrinated. Your opinions come
By
straight
what?
from Tavistock Institute.
What am I indoctrinated to do and by what? You're begging a couple questions when you say that.
Watch all the videos on my channel.
No,
and then you can
tell
figure
me.
it out.
Tell me. No, I'm not going to watch your garbage videos, P-Mars.
You need a lot of education. You need to read a lot of books.
Yep, I guess I better read some books.
Brenda, can you tell us about your avatar? I'm trying to figure it out. I see a cross. I see a pyramid. I see all kinds of stuff. What's going on? I like it.
Oh, it's from a Soviet era poster. I was just browsing around the internet and found a now defunct blog that gave pictures of Soviet era posters, and this one just struck my fancy, and I was bored with the other ones, so I used it.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the words mean. I just liked the design.
Yeah, I want to learn more.
It's a person. It's a person. It's a person. If you can see the larger version, it's a stylized person.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip.
Hey.
How you doing, Philip? Good to have you.
What's up?
Cheers, Philip.
So,
Hello, Aaron as well. Good to have you.
So,
Aaron as well. Need to mute the page that you're watching, Aaron. Just give us a shout once you've done that. And how you doing, Philip? Can you hear us?
Yep.
Cool. Good to have you here.
What's going on?
It seems to be pretty quiet right now. It's 12 below zero here, so you're all welcome to come to tropical Minnesota and bathe in the sunlight.
Minnesota. Ooh.
Yeah, 12 below zero, so have fun.
That's
That
not.
hurts.
Yeah.
my car wouldn't start today. Couldn't go to the. So
it was the Illuminati. They didn't want you to go anywhere.
Yeah. So Ron Suskind,
So
in the New York Times Magazine, he wrote this interesting quote here. He says, the aide said that he's talking about Karl Rove. So Karl Rove said that guys like me were in what we call the reality-based community, which he defined as people who believe that solutions emerge from your judicious study of discernible reality. That's not the way the world really works anymore, he continued. We're an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. And while you're studying that reality judiciously as you will, we'll act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out.
Do you know what an empire is?
We're history's
That
actors.
didn't exactly
and
work out for them, did it?
all of you will be left to just study what we do.
It didn't exactly.
Do you know what an
work out
empire
for
is?
them.
Yeah, it did. How did it not work out?
Do you know what
for
an
them?
empire is? And do you think empires should exist?
I'm against civilization because.
Oh wow! Well, you should go live in the woods then in a hut.
I think slavery is
Huts
bad.
are created by civilizations.
That's true, Brenda. Well
Civilization
spoken.
and slavery go hand in hand, and I am against slavery.
Oh wow! Well, I guess you're just dumb.
So
Have
what do
fun
you
living
think-
in the woods on your own, supporting
think-
yourself with your bare hands. That's your alternative.
Lewis thinks people should die so we can have a one-world government.
No, you think people should die.
Well, that's what you said.
Civilization makes surviving easy. You can be a dumb you can be a real dummy and survive in an empire. But if you want to survive on your own in the wilderness, you have to be pretty resourceful. End of story.
I mean, you were raised in civilization, so you would know.
Yeah, I was.
You have a
thank
wide
you.
perspective
Good,
of how the world works.
Well spoken, Pimars, stating some very hard to spot facts.
I'm sensing a slight hostility.
Well, I mean,
Lewis
to
is
be
jealous of my
fair-
brain.
To be fair,
No,
like
I'm not jealous of anything.
To be fair, I guess when we were hunter-gatherers, we worked a lot less than we do now. But then again,
No,
we
we
didn't have
didn't.
Yes,
Oh
we
my
did.
gosh.
You study history.
Oh my God, you're an idiot if you think we were
You're an
less
idiot.
as
Study history.
hunter-gatherers.
You don't
You
know
are
what
a
you're talking about.
you are
No, it's
an
true.
Hey,
idiot if
study
you think
history.
that.
It's true. What he's saying is true.
No, it's not.
It is
true.
absolutely
not
true.
Why are you getting so mad about it?
Because you think you know shit and you don't know anything.
Yeah, I do. I
He
do know
said
shit.
Is absolute truth. What? Go prove he's wrong.
No, I don't need
Because
to.
you don't
I
know
need to
shit.
prove he's
I've
wrong.
read history. I know what he's saying is
Oh my
true.
God.
Read
You don't know
history?
what fucking
You
thing.
have you been
Alright.
hunter-gathering? Have you ever been outside
you,
and built
idiot.
something with your hands? It's not easy.
They've done studies of like tribes that don't exist in modern society, like out in the jungle.
Well,
You know, I don't know. They've studied
okay,
what
just
they
to make
eat
sure-
and how they live.
Just to make sure everybody knows, we're not allowed any autistic breakdowns, okay?
I have no clue whether or not they worked harder.
Been joined by a new guest. How you doing, Q?
Just
Good to have
the
you.
number of hours
They live-
later.
they live-
Wait, one
they
second,
live
guys.
shorter,
One second,
that's
one
for sure.
second. How you doing, Q? Good to have you.
Yeah, they lived shorter, more painful,
Oh,
less
Lou,
happy
just
lives.
give us 1 second, Lou. How you doing, Q?
Hi, Nathan. Hi, guys.
Good to have you.
Cool.
So did you guys ever talk about this morning the Anthony's challenge to model this stuff?
Anthony's really good at thinking of things for other people to do.
But did he present anything this morning? Because I didn't have a chance to watch the video.
How you doing, Paul? Good to have you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
It's ridiculous.
All right.
You have fun hunting every single day, foraging every single day, finding water every single
Louis,
day.
there are people who do that in the world right now.
Yeah, and they have very difficult, short lives.
Possibly some of them, but I don't think it's a given.
Pretty much.
I'd say it's a pretty hard thing to say.
It also
'Cause there's
depends
a lot
on
of things that are screwed up here in our society right now.
being a hunter-gatherer in Hawaii is different than being a hunter-gatherer in like the Russian tundra.
Right. Exactly.
Hawaii has a lot of things imported to it directly, so.
Well, I seem to recall hearing about the Native Americans who lived, in the Seattle area, and once a year they would fish the salmon when they came in, and they just collect a whole bunch of. I was going to say something else. A whole bunch of salmon, and that would be their food for the rest of the year, pretty much. I mean, if you happen to live next to a place where wildlife is abundant, you can harvest a lot of them at once, I suppose. But I would suppose natives in other parts of the Americas weren't so lucky.
I mean, like being a native in Southern California versus being a native in like North Dakota. I mean, it's very different.
It's different. I mean, you'd expect that like if it was harder, people would have actually moved, right?
Yeah, that's usually the reason why people did migrate is because food sources, dwindled.
Right.
Or
Right.
some kind of weather.
But there's also a
caused
degree of
drought.
familiarity, right? Because your
Yeah.
skills that you develop in North Dakota will not necessarily apply to the desert of Southern California.
The
Right.
Eskimos, or Inuit, I guess, didn't feel a need to move anywhere, but because they were.
How long would a hunter-gatherer tribe full of Lewises last?
I have no idea.
Full of Lewises? Oh, we'd probably start a civilization because we'd recognize that farming and not roaming
Wait a minute.
around is easier.
Wait a minute. If they're all
Farming's
male,
actually
they're not
pretty
going to survive, more than one generation. So
Well, let's assume that some of the Lewises are female.
then they'd be like Louises or some shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
some Lewises, some Louises, Luigis.
And they all be bitching at each other the whole time.
Yeah, they would. They'd all have better. They'd have increasingly better ideas as time went on.
But the real question is, would they all be able to hack it?
That's
Ooh.
right. Would they be able to hack it? And
The
I
Luigi's
think,
invented pasta.
I think they would develop a civilization of hacketing, and it would be great.
But there's no computers for them to hack.
No, one step at a time. We'd start out with planting some seeds in the ground, and from there we'd move on to capturing energy from moving water.
And then they would develop free energy.
Once they discovered magnetism, they'd be fine.
Yes, they discovered magnetism
magnetic
and have
motors.
free energy.
Oh. Extract energy from the quantum vacuum. Okay,
Nathan,
so
Nathan, I have a way to prove the Isle of Man is lifted up.
I gotta say,
Nathan's not talking to us.
I really don't feel bad for you just because you're crying.
You go ahead, Aaron. You're being presented. Oh no,
Who's
he's on
crying?
mute.
I guess I'm not up on the
You go ahead,
latest.
Aaron. You're being presented.
Ooh.
you.
Well, I don't need to be presented to prove that the Isle of Man is lifted and looming.
Okay.
All right, Nathan, if you could present me, I have evidence that I'm a skilled person of combat in Dark Souls 3. It's very pertinent to this discussion. By extension, my qualification in combat qualify
Haven't
me
you
in
beat
all
that
other
game yet?
areas of life.
I'll allow this, Louis. Continue.
All right. So if you just wait for an opponent to enter the arena. I will handle. It might
Nathan,
take
do you
a
want
minute.
a foolproof way to prove the Isle of Man is lifted?
Yes, go ahead, Aaron.
There you go.
All right. Now, this will have to be done. It has not been done yet, but this will definitely prove it. So let's say we use Anthony Riley standing where he was standing when he allegedly took the video, and he's facing west toward Isle of Man when he zoomed in. Correct? I believe that's right. Well, turn him around and point him east, and when an airplane leaves Heathrow headed west, have him follow that airplane up, it goes over his head, he's following it with his camera, and it's heading over the Isle of Man towards that direction. And as he's zooming in on that airplane, you should see it go through the Isle of Man. And that will prove that it's lifted up.
Whoa.
That's pretty good.
Yay.
Excuse me.
Wow,
That's
interesting.
Could have an independent person just go there, I suppose.
Let's use
Pay
Anthony.
Soundly. We could pay Soundly to take a trip there.
Oh my god.
I
That
really
airplane
like that.
could travel through the Isle of Man from Anthony's point of view.
If I had $1 bajillion, I'd pay Soundly to go all over the place getting evidence.
I know.
Does anyone here think that would actually happen?
If there is an extreme case enough of refraction, then yes. And if the airplane goes in the proper elevation, then
Yeah,
yes.
where's there
Wouldn't
like an
the airplane get
airport? Is there an airport near, that
There's an
it would
airport on the Isle of Man.
would have to drop that low?
Well, it'd have to be
Yeah,
so he could follow it and just do one continuous shot up and over his head towards the Isle of Man. And of course, with the naked eye, you might lose sight of the airplane as it heads over the alleged curve of the horizon, all that. But he could zoom in back to that airplane.
Oh no, now you're wrong. Now you're talking crap.
From his point of view, the airplane.
No. You're talking crap now.
Isle of Man. Yes, it should.
You're talking crap. Nope, it wouldn't go over the horizon first. That would happen after.
Let's just, I say we let Anthony try it and see what happens.
No, your example doesn't work. If you expect your explanation to happen, no, it won't happen that way.
All right. How about I go sit on the Isle of Man and I have a drone with a flashing strobe light beacon so Anthony could see it from his point of view. And of course, I would be looming up, sitting on the Isle of Man. And so he may see me in his camera view, but I would fly the drone straight towards him. And at some point, I would leave the area of refraction or something, and the drone would, just change position quickly, correct? Or would it fly straight towards him all the way, and I'd run it right into his camera? What would happen? Would there be a change in action on the drone also? Would it change position? Even if I don't know.
Why don't you go try it and find out? Why do you want us to use our imagination?
This is a theoretical show. We're just talking about what we think would happen.
It's a debate. So you're making a proposition and I'm debating you on it. I'm saying, why don't you go find out? Go try it.
I already know what would happen, so I don't have to. I'm just
so you go and you collect the data, and then you bring the data to us, and we can all analyze it together. The data.
Or you could just think about
the data has to come first.
Yeah, or you could just think.
That could work. That could work under the exact right conditions, but I don't think an airplane would fly at that altitude. I don't think the air
talking about a drone
temperature would be right.
Yeah,
where is the airport?
There is an airport on the Isle of Man, but I don't know where it is exactly.
It might be more likely to get what you're looking for then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use my refraction calculator.
I'm pretty sure nothing will fly through the Isle of Man ever.
It would appear to, though.
What do you mean by fly through?
Like I said, go get the data and then bring the data back to us, and we can all analyze the data together.
How much refraction is taking place when sunlight enters, comes through outer space, enters the Earth's atmosphere, and apparently refracts down because it's colder up high? And then as the light travels down, it gets warmer, so it must refract back up and actually come to our...
No, that's no one expecting that to happen.
No, it just curves.
It curves down, but never back up towards our eye, kind of?
How much
refraction
is a variable? It changes.
Relative to no medium at all, the light curves.
Okay, so space is no medium, and then atmosphere is medium. So when the sunlight...
Those are words coming out of your mouth. I want you to pay attention to that.
Yeah, wherever the sun is, when the light comes into the atmosphere, and I've got my eyes closed. I don't care where it is or not. But sunlight comes in and refracts down, according to certain refraction models. And then it must start to refract back up because...
Why?
Increases and
Why?
Medium.
Why?
Because of
change. The change in density is always positive.
What about temperature?
Unless there's an inversion layer.
So sunlight just comes straight down to the ground. So the sun should always appear at straight up above our head. If it's always coming.
No, it's low in the.
Horizon.
Refraction when it's above your head.
Okay. And
so the light rays have to come very shallow with respect to the horizon.
Does like a light beam, like let's say a sun ray?
I have a simulation of this. Can I just show it?
Yes.
This ought to be pretty good.
Because I mean it's using Fermat's principle. It's modeling the atmosphere. It does everything that Anthony Riley wanted.
Does
so
why does anybody want to do what Anthony? want, saying that you did.
Well, it's also partially just to make sure that I can figure this out.
Okay then.
I think Anthony should format his hard drive.
Does the format principle use ambient light, such as?
So we have approximately 1 hour left on this broadcast. Please share the show, as it does increase the live audience, of course, and this increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So if you have not done so already, please share the show. If you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. But most importantly, if you would like to join the debate with the page you are currently listening to me on muted, simply click the link in the info box below this video to join the show and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. One more time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with
How
the
are you
Flat Earth
doing?
debate.
Oh, I'm doing great, Nathan. Thank you very much, Nathan. How are you? I'm doing fine. That's great. Okay, carry on, guys.
Repetitive interruptions, so we didn't get to introduce Steve.
How you doing, Steve?
Oh, sorry.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
The distinction between ambient light and sunlight, I guess, would be source, direct, source, the point of origin, energy, basically a straight line.
Why are you using this word ambient like this?
So
Because
light
that's the reason.
doesn't travel in a straight line in
when
a
there's cloud
homogeneous index of refraction?
When there's cloud cover, you're not getting direct sunlight, right?
Correct.
Right,
Okay.
some of it is absorbed by the water vapor in the clouds.
Some of that sunlight is bouncing all around. It's going east and west and somehow making it back to me.
Not all of the light is making it back to your eye.
Not refracted, because everything around me looks very clear and
I don't think you understand how
it's not looming.
your sight actually works.
It's not a mirage. Things are not mirages in my daily life, But when there's
I don't
direct
care to
sunlight,
explain.
You have to be really
Mirages
far
aren't
away from the
standard.
object.
That's why you don't see them in your everyday life.
When there's direct
Like the
sunlight,
curve, you don't even really. What?
mirages are common when the sun, let's say not when there's direct sunlight.
There's no distinction between direct and ambient light. I'm sorry. I mean, they're both electromagnetic waves. They both behave the same. Like, is there like one type of light which is not electromagnetic waves?
I'm not a light expert. I'm just asking questions, bro. Calm down.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, from my understanding, light is an electromagnetic wave. It's just at a particular frequency.
Who told you that?
Doesn't really care like what source it came from. It's just a wave.
So are you just asking questions, and Philip here is answering questions. So, yeah, you're just asking questions, right?
A little bit. I'm just maybe dropping.
Do you expect answers as well, or do you like answers? Are answers good?
I think this is a very intelligent. Well, I like this. I like this crowd. All right. I think in the end we all kind of learn something, whether we agree with it or not. Doesn't matter. But
well, how are you learning something if you don't agree with it?
Because it makes me think and go research what I believe to be true.
Well, does it matter what you believe to be true, or does it matter what is actually true?
Doesn't matter what you believe either. So.
No, it doesn't. But what is actually true matters, right? It doesn't matter what you believe.
It kind of does, because that's how
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Aaron.
Live my life. I don't know how you live your life, but that's how I live my life. I live my life based on what I believe.
Well, with all due respect, Aaron, that is a stupid way to live your life.
Yeah, that's really stupid. I mean, he was conceding that our own subjective views of reality are not actually what determine the truth of reality, and now you've turned around and played a little word game that's pretty stupid, and everybody sees right through it.
Can you give me a small example of what you might believe to be true, but it might not be, and
the flying spaghetti monster, for example?
No, but do you believe?
I think that putting sugar into my gas tank is the best way to fill up my tank.
But do you actually believe that?
Yes, I actually believe that.
Well, then go do it and find out the truth.
Oh.
Oh. You mean get the data and bring it back so we can analyze it?
Yeah, but see,
and I would do that, and then I would go to my mechanic, and he would tell me.
That's right. You don't.
Brenda, I believe that you would do that.
Your car.
You're not a mechanic, so you would never believe that would be true. Okay, like I don't believe Santa Claus is true, so I don't live my life running around looking for Santa Claus.
Well, maybe that's just because you grew up and you at least let go of that one
Do you believe or do you know?
I just don't believe it. It could be true. If Santa Claus showed up, I'd be like, damn.
Well, spoiler alert, it isn't.
I seen him on TV though.
I seen him in the mall.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I believe it's true, but anyway.
Well, that's just his helper. That's just his helper.
Right? Even if I did believe that was true, the Santa Claus in the mall, how would that negatively affect my life? Because millions of kids believe it, and I don't think there's any negative effect. I mean, across the board. There might be disappointment, but you know.
Sure, you can.
Years of
whatever you
therapy.
want, I
Years
guess.
of therapy, I
I
suppose.
think it's wrong to lie to your children about Santa Claus. Because it just shows that you will lie to them.
I don't think it matters.
Is it lying if you don't tell the truth?
Yeah, it's a lie of omission. If you know the truth and
yeah.
you allow lies to go unspoken, and you allow lies to go uncorrected when you know better, yes, that's a lie of omission, which is a sin.
I don't think telling children about Santa Claus harms them a great deal.
Yeah, so back to
They'll find out eventually.
ambient,
They'll
you
find
know,
eventually. Then they'll
So-
learn what it's like to be adult, which is to live in regret and
So, like, say if you started teaching your children about religion, right? And you know, how are you gonna discern what's true or not, right? So that's lying. You're lying to your children.
who cares? They're my children.
Who cares?
Why do you care what I say to my children, right?
Because
I'll have to live with them one day. I might have to work with them one day, so I care.
You know, if you care what I say to my children, then I can care what you say to your children, and I can use
Yes,
my
you can.
judgment.
You can. There's a difference between caring and having control over.
So I can tell you what to tell your children.
No, well, yeah, you can tell me, but I don't have to listen to you.
Exactly. That's what I just said. Why are you telling me what to tell my children?
There's a difference here. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother telling you.
yeah.
I would just lead by example, and your kids would see that I was a better example than you.
Oh, you mean like present the data and let us analyze it?
That may be possible, Lewis, actually, which is a good
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I know that it's possible because it happened to me in real life many times.
That's why you're sitting here, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you think the earth is flat, Aaron?
What do I believe? Well, I've seen more.
What do you think? If you had to be pressed.
I've seen more data.
Why did you have to change the word think to believe?
Well, because your thoughts are your belief. You know what I
No,
mean?
not everything I think do I believe.
No, not at all.
Well, then why did you think it?
Because thoughts are just random, sporadic things that I don't always have control over.
Okay, so you said, do I
Some of them I just have to dismiss.
think it's flat? Well, no, I don't think about the earth being flat.
But
I
do you know then? Do you know? Because knowing
No,
isn't
what
the
I
same as
do-
believing, though. Because you could believe in the flying spaghetti monster, you don't know that he's real.
No, I'm trying to answer the what's
Yeah,
your name?
and I can think about the flying spaghetti monster, but it doesn't mean I think it's real.
Yeah, I'm trying to answer channel. What I have seen in this this flat Earth, round Earth stuff that's been going on is I've seen more realistic evidence for not a round Earth than I have for a round.
Not
Earth.
a round Earth?
Where did you see this evidence?
So
realistic.
Where did you see this evidence, though?
Probably on a computer screen.
Define realistic.
Just
When you say it's realistic evidence, is because you don't understand the other evidence?
well, I don't know that you understand it any more than I do.
No, but where did you see this evidence, this more realistic evidence? Where did you see it?
In my daily life.
Oh, nice. Like what? Name something.
Okay.
So your senses can be.
Yeah, please don't be so vague.
If ambient light refracts the same as direct sunlight, as the other gentleman just said, I've
Oh
never
my God.
I've never walked up to a looming tree.
You realize that using the
Never
word
walked up to a
ambient is just
We've been over
semantical,
this.
and we
found that
can
it
see
was
right
not-
through that, right?
There is no
Light,
difference.
dude. If you didn't have the sun,
there is
it
no
wouldn't be ambient
distinction.
light.
There's
There's
no
no like,
distinction.
there's no like more scientific meaning to the word ambient. If anything, it's an aesthetic term.
Yeah, it says you. I mean, you're no expert.
Yeah,
It's the English language.
Yeah. I don't think you created the English language, so it's okay.
No, but I learned it, and I'm a master of it.
And you
I don't think any one person created
It every day.
You learned it and possibly misuse it. That's true.
Wow.
But we all.
I mean, you certainly misuse it. There's
Well,
no
some of us
there's
a
no
little more
maybe
than others,
about
I
it.
guess.
Yep.
light refracts regardless of what kind of light it is.
Light is as light does.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what you think light is or what distinctions you make, but I can assure you light is light, no matter what source produced it.
No matter what adjective you put in front of it.
True. The gentleman that was just speaking, I'm not sure his name, but he made a very good point. Light is commonly or generally known as electromagnetic wave.
I mean, at this point, anything you call a good point, that calls into question.
Lewis, no, that. Hold on one sec. Now, so electromagnetic.
I don't need to
wave,
hold on.
well, I just want to address the gentleman's point.
You just want to address, dude. Where did you learn to talk? Anthony Riley's school?
The English language. Haven't you been paying attention?
No. You learned to talk from Anthony Riley. I can tell. You're using all of his buzzwords, all of his phrases. Your pattern of speech is
I'm sorry, sir. I'm from Texas.
the same. Sir,
Okay.
it doesn't matter where you're from. You're both exposed to the same garbage that pours out of Anthony Riley's mouth.
Okay,
Carry on, Michael.
Now back to his point. The electromagnetic waves.
Yeah, back
Which-
to his point. Yeah, because it's different. It's a different point than what I was saying.
Electromagnetic waves, and I agree with that because that's what I've learned, and it sounds right. It makes sense. Now, do magnetic waves refract?
There
There's
are no
no such
magnetic
thing as magnetic
waves.
wave.
So, what is an electromagnetic wave?
It's an
Something
oscillation
different.
in the electric field, which produces an oscillation in the magnetic field, which produces an oscillation in the electric field. They go back and
Okay, but
forth.
there are no magnetic waves, but there are electromagnetic waves.
Right, because the waves are in both the electric and magnetic fields. There's an
So
exchange of energy between the electric field and the magnetic field.
So there's a magnetic property to an electric wave, kind of.
There's both an electric field and a magnetic field as a part of the electromagnetic wave.
And do they refract together or separately?
Yes, they refract the same. They don't separate from each other.
So the magnetic wave element of the electromagnetic unit does also refract.
Yes, they
Okay,
are
so-
tied to each other. They can't exist without each other.
So electricity cannot exist without magnetism.
The electric field
Correct.
in the electromagnetic
Any
wave,
electric current will produce a magnetic field.
and
Yeah, you might be right about that. But I don't know exactly if you're right. I think it's
I mean,
any
if you look at Maxwell's equations, which describe the electromagnetic fields,
any
you'll
electric
see that they
field
couple to each other.
wrapped around a core of iron might produce an electromagnetic.
No, I'll say it again. Any electric current produces a magnetic field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm not sure. Okay, so the light
So
should
what's the point of that? I think you might be
So,
right.
So
light-
let's just make this distinction here. So light exists in the absence of sources. It's the solution to the electromagnetic wave equations when there's no source.
Okay, so light should be shocking me right now because it's electromagnetic, right?
How much? Do you know how big the amplitude of the electric field is?
Of what? The sun or the earth, or what are you
for
talking?
light wave. Just take a light wave that comes off of your light bulb, just as an example.
I don't think my light bulb is magnetic. So you know.
But it's giving off light.
But it's not magnetic.
But it's still giving off light. You were asking the question,
there's a
does
distinction.
light shock you? And I'm asking you, how big is the magnitude of the electric field of the light waves coming out of your light bulb?
It's big enough for me to see.
Right. But is that big enough to shock you?
If I touch it. Right? Take away the
You
bulb.
are touching.
Touch
It's
the
touching you
element.
all the time.
I might get shocked. They're actually burnt more than shocked.
So you're burning. You get burned when you're just looking at your light.
It'll be a
coming off your
shock
light
when you
bulb?
touch it because you get burned.
Yeah, if I took away the bulb and touched the element, the tungsten element, inside an incandescent bulb, I would probably get burned, not shocked at all, actually. Because it's got its own ground.
Well, why don't you try it and let us know?
I've done it.
Get the
So
get the
the
data
reason
and
why
then
you
we'll
feel that
analyze it
heat is
together.
because you're putting a ton of current through the filaments, and it's heated up to very high temperatures, which is why it's emitting light in the first place. But that's besides the point. The light is not going to shock you because the electric field in the light waves is tiny. It's enough to excite the electrons in your eyes so that you can actually get a signal and see, but it's not enough to like make you feel an electric current because it's very small.
So
it's enough
is-
to move an
So-
electron. It's not enough to move
But
like
he might
you
have
know,
one of these
millions
LED
of
bulbs.
electrons.
Yeah, light shocking your eyes, I guess you could say.
You could say
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's exactly what's happening.
You guys seen those police flashlights, those LED ones, the new Tactron? You see them on commercials that are like super bright. Have you seen those?
I can't say I have.
Well,
But
have you
I-
seen a police
I'm assuming
flashlight? Or a military grade flashlight? There's like super
Sure.
bright. LEDs,
Yeah, you can
right?
run them over with the car and they survive, right?
So that you cannot, yeah, the one you run it over with a bus or a Hummer or something like a train, and so that one you if it's shined in your eyes, you cannot look at it. Like it's so bright. That's why they use it as distraction or deterrent. And is that light equivalent to the sun? Because you cannot look at sunlight either. You cannot look at the sun directly. So are you trying?
I don't know enough information to
Energy-
say which way.
energy coming from a light bulb out of a flashlight is the same as what you see in the sky. Is that what you're trying to
No,
tell me?
because the light, the
It's
flashlight
the
can't
intensity
burn
that
you.
changes, not the energy of the light. The energy of the light is
Just
How
about
hot does that flashlight make you feel?
Try strapping a
it in for a
billion
long time
torches
where you get a
together and
sunburn?
turning them all on, and then look at it.
Do you get a sunburn from that flashlight if you stand under it for too long?
It makes me feel
How
so
hot does
hot.
it make you?
When I-
How hot does it make things?
No, but when I put a stick in my welder and I weld and I gotta cut off jeans and I got a hole in my jeans, I'll have a sunburn on my leg
Yeah.
from my welder. So is
From
that
the
the
weather,
same
yeah.
intensity as the
You mean
sun?
the what?
But
I'm
not from that
confused.
flashlight.
That's because the
Okay,
welder
yeah.
produces ultraviolet light. It produces UV as well.
Yeah.
About the UV.
Copious
But
amounts.
the torch emits like an orangey light, so it makes your skin look tanned. That's what makes you feel hot.
No, it's a bright blue white light from welding. But for some reason I'm not magnetically drawn to the plate of metal that I'm welding. I don't know why.
Magnetically drawn to
Why
the
would you
the
be?
magnetic field's oscillating really
Light is an
fast.
electromagnetic wave.
There's not a net magnetic field coming from the electromagnetic waves.
So I was just
And
wondering how all
your
that
body isn't really magnetic either.
Yeah,
so.
that's also true. You're not
Right.
charged. So.
question. I'm just wondering if magnetic waves also refract somehow.
We already
No, we answered that already.
One is part and parcel of the
Been
other.
through that.
One is part and parcel of the other, right? Electromagnetic.
feed off of each other.
This
yeah.
is the problem. This right here is the problem with flash. They'll ask a question, a million questions, and then get the answers, and then not like that answer, and then ask a different question differently, not like that
That's
answer.
the original question. What do you mean different
We
question?
already
How-
answered it.
the same one. And it hasn't been answered. Well, it's been
It has
answered.
been.
Answer
It
it.
has
I'm
been.
triggered. I'm sorry. I got
It's been
triggered.
answered by this panel, but I'm not too sure any of you guys are experts.
I'm
So
physics
Well, you should have went to the
student.
experts panel then.
No,
I
I like
guess-
working with you guys. It's okay.
I guess that's
You
your
asked
bad.
the question. You
Call
were
up
told that
Anthony.
magnetic fields are tied to electric fields. You were told that they both refract the same. And then you asked the question again, saying that it hasn't been answered when it has.
I
We
just didn't think the
My
answer was
initial
right.
question sir, was: do magnetic waves refract?
And you were told
The answer is
that
yes.
magnetic waves don't exist by themselves. And you were told that magnetic waves exist with electric waves. They're tied together. And you were told that they both refract.
Yeah, Paul, but can magnetic waves
Don't you
refract,
like that
though?
answer?
A magnet on its own and the field that it produces on its own does not exist, you just said, on its own.
That's not what he said.
A magnetic field, that's not what I'm saying. A magnetic field can exist by itself. Yes.
Can I refract that field?
It's not a wave. It's just
not a wave.
It's a field. It's just a straight field.
So there's no such thing as an electromagnetic field?
You can manipulate the field.
There's
yeah. But
There's an electric field and there's a magnetic field.
Is there
In an electromagnetic wave, both fields exist at the same time.
Is there an electromagnetic field?
And it's an electric field and a magnetic field. Both
Is
exist at
that
the
what
same
we would
time
call
and
it?
generate each other.
Is that what we would call light, or the other?
That's what we call light, yes.
Okay, so it's a field.
When we have an electric field and a magnetic field that self-generate each other, that's an electromagnetic wave.
all right, so
That is light.
Paul, what about MRI scanners then? They manipulate the electromagnetic field, right?
They use magnetic fields.
MRI scanners, they use magnetic fields to align the electrons.
In the material.
Does
But that also affects the local magnetic field around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
is candlelight an electromagnetic wave?
yes.
Yep.
light is light no matter what adjective you put before the word.
I was just wondering. Okay.
I mean, we've already been through this.
Is heat an electromagnetic wave? Heat.
Infrared radiation. Infrared radiation is an electromagnetic wave, but you can have heat transfer between objects if they're physically touching.
You know, they make places where they encourage people to ask these kinds of questions and teach you the answers.
Sorry, Chanel. I don't hear you asking. any
Typically, well, that's because she doesn't have any questions to ask. She understands it already, and they call these places schools, and typically you pay for the information.
Yeah, you understand that I'm actually just asking you guys.
Well, I think this information they gave us all for free, you know. Elementary.
Yeah, high school.
stuff is on
That's right.
Wikipedia.
But if you didn't learn it the first time, they offer this course in other
You know, it's funny,
post-secondary school.
You know what's funny is you guys are all
Strictly
giving me
speaking, I guess
the
we paid
answers.
for it with our tax.
You guys are all giving
That's
me the
true,
answers
too.
that I got in high school, which is pretty funny. It shows how far you've progressed.
Well, the questions that you're asking, so I mean, why are you asking them?
Why are you asking us questions that we
Are you
learned in high
testing us?
school and then
I wanna
saying
see
we
how much you know. Well, I'm testing
You know those answers. You're the one who doesn't know the
Oh
answers.
no, he's testing us.
You're testing us. Well, you know, I'm
Oh,
going to
that's very
ignore you then.
interesting. Okay. All right. So how am I doing so far, Aaron?
I think you're very reasonable.
Okay, good.
You're at Edward Snowden level right now.
I'm glad my like 20
does look like Edward Snowden.
20 something years of school have paid
You
off.
haven't said anything that I don't already know, just like you. We all learn the same thing.
Wow, what a wonderful use of our time to just testing each other for no reason. That's pretty cool.
So
It's one big circle jerk. All right. I get first.
Well, I thought Channel wanted data. Don't you get data from testing?
That's not data. That's not data. That's you questioning
This
us
is-
and testing us like you just said. It's you being a prick.
The English language I use is mine. I call it data. Okay.
Wow, well, you know, you didn't learn English properly then.
I think that you didn't know the answers, and now you're saying you did.
I am inclined to agree with that
Peter
as
knows
well.
the answer. That's why, what I
Can
was
we
asking.
hold on for a second, Aaron? I just need to do something for a moment. Shout out to Shroomy. All right, carry on, guys.
Shroomy.
Steve,
I like
I've
to shout
told
out
you
again
already.
to Curve, Rick, and Cat Earth.
Guys, just a second. I do the shout outs, and I kind of do them towards the end of the show. So,
slacking.
Well, who's going to shout out you, Lottie? I want to shout out Lottie right now.
Tony, thank you very much.
Yeah, shout out to Lottie right now, man. Shout out
Hey,
to
hey.
everyone.
Shout
Hey,
out to
Lewis.
Nathan. What's up, Nathan?
Lewis, did you learn every answer to the questions I was asking from the Empire that's holding your hand through life? Where you learned it?
Empire.
Back
That was a good show, Empire. That show.
I learned it from individuals within the Empire, so I mean, sure. Just like Mowgli learned everything he learned from the wolves, but he also taught himself his own things as he was a man and they were wolves.
Ooh, that's a good one. Nice. See how he thinks outside the box? You guys should try that.
Very animalistic. Excellent. I like that.
The metaphor of the Jungle Book is that you are different from everyone else.
It's called what? The Jungle Book?
Oh my gosh.
No, you are different to all the other animals in the jungle. That's what it is.
Wasn't it called the Jungle Story? Not the Jungle Book? Jungle Story?
I don't care what you think it was called, dude.
The book, story, semantics, dude.
Must be Mandela effect.
No, I was just wondering.
I think it was the Jungle Cool Story, bro.
I don't think it was called the Jungle Fact, is all I'm saying.
It's a metaphor. Do you know what literature is for?
Sure, to give you something to believe in.
Allegory, a microcosm, a metaphor.
Give you something to believe in. That's
Exactly.
Those are
Like,
lots of syllables. In this word.
give you something to believe in, man. Yeah.
Give him something to believe in.
That's a good song.
Stars above. Oh, Ideology is live right now.
I can't wait to see an airplane fly through land. That's going to be great.
That will be awesome.
Well,
won't it?
that's, you're misrepresenting what you initially said about that.
We have approximately half an hour left on this live stream. If you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, you'll be warmly welcome back on the next show, so please don't try to rejoin using sock accounts. If you've not done so already, please share the show, and one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
That's right. You passed the test. Very, very good.
I think Nathan's not even paying
Alright,
attention
so
to this.
I just want to shout out to Sleeping Warrior. I hope you got those properties for those video files so we can have a look and see when you took them. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, present the data.
That'd be yeah. It's a reasonable
Called transparency.
request.
Yeah, is that so?
Surely you're prepared by now.
Called transparency, and transparency is like the same thing as honesty.
Yeah, because there's way too many of those horizon lines and stuff.
Nathan, if you could present me, I have proof of my competence in combat. Although the last time I fought this guy, he did beat me, so...
Well,
too much.
Are you playing like one-on-one or something?
I'm playing Dark Souls 3.
Can you like PvP?
Yep, that's PvP.
I'm not hip with the newfangled games.
This is a good one. This is a good one. You ever played Dark Souls 1?
Nope.
Demon Souls? Bloodborne?
No life.
It's alright. They're good games.
Yeah, maybe someday. Once I'm done with my PhD.
The last game I played was Red Faction.
Well.
Jeez, that was a long time ago.
PhD? What's this helping you get your PhD? How's this helping you?
Oh, it's not.
Oh, okay.
But it's break, so.
I have a magnet here, but there's no light shooting out of it. I don't know.
Oh, there he is. Smart stuff coming out.
That's because it's a magnet, man. That's how magnets work.
Oh, so it's separate.
That's a feature of a magnet.
It's
It doesn't
producing
produce
electromagnetic field, but you can't sense it because it's not at the right wavelength for your eyes to see.
Oh, okay.
Try waving the magnet backwards and forwards at 15 trillion thousand times a second.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then it'll produce light that you can see.
Nathan, could you present me? I have some evidence. I have some
Oh,
evidence
look at
here.
that. Riley wrecked by parallax.
No, I'll bet if I took the magnet and hit myself hard enough right between the eyes, I'd see stars.
That's true. I will agree with that statement.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that evidence right there shows that Riley has, purposely misled us. That's what I
What
get
is
from it.
going
Or
on?
am I reading that wrong?
But I don't
I have
know.
some evidence here that Riley has misled us. That's
Oh,
some
is
evidence
it?
here. If you can
That's
present
just one
me,
thing he's done.
that'd be great.
Oh, what is this evidence of? The
shows
same
you
but
this,
location, but with
different
later in the
location.
day. The weather conditions
Yeah, it's a great GIF.
got better.
It shows that he took pictures in different locations.
And that's what I think he did with the main picture. He showed us where he wanted us to think he was at, and then he went all the way around to a different part of the land and then shot it. That's what I think.
Oh, so you mean like he went up higher, and then
No, he went
actually was
higher
able to
and
see the
like
lighthouse?
to about 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock range, and then took it. I think he went like at least a mile down the coast.
Wow.
And when he did that, Isle of Man at the same time, if he would have been looking, was raising up. If he would have been pointing the camera in the right
Yeah, raising up like Jesus, right?
walking up the hill, he would have caught it in action, raising up. Right?
So in
Why
order
do you have
to
to
make
walk up the hill anyways?
What do you mean he would have caught it? Caught what?
A cold.
Well, because I guess from the position where he took the picture of where he was, Isle of Man must have been over the curve a little bit, but when he got higher, that the whole thing raised. The whole thing raised magically. And then had he been pointing his camera over there, which he didn't, he's a dumbass, he could have caught that, that whole action, that whole
What
refraction.
do you mean, like as you move up, you can see farther?
No, well, as he's got to that point, the Isle of Man, the whole thing appeared somehow. The whole thing, not part of it, but the whole thing.
Not the whole
The
thing.
beach didn't appear.
Missing stuff underneath the water, under the horizon.
Yeah. And one of those 10 horizon lines that somehow made it into this picture, they were there.
But the top of whatever mountain is in the background, like the one way above the light, the top, that had to raise up somehow, right?
Yeah, by refraction.
Okay, I agree, but what I'm saying is he's an idiot. He should have caught that on camera. But he shouldn't.
Yeah.
He should have not lied about what he did.
That obviously would have made a lot more sense. But
he wasted a lot
anyways.
of people's time, is what he did. He wasted everyone's time and didn't come clean with what was going on.
He could have
Especially
also
you, Paul.
zoomed
It
in
makes me
on
mad that he
things
wasted
much
your
more
time.
to the left. He could have zoomed in on things to the left of the Isle of Man and really seen if he could see the rest of Ireland.
Well,
If
like-
you could see a little bit of Ireland, surely you should be able to see more of it.
Why don't you go do it, as Channel would say? You go get the data.
Well, he doesn't live in the United Kingdom.
That's the only point to get data, apparently. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
that's
there's-
where
there's
Anthony
doc-
got his data, and the argument is over the validity of the way Anthony represented his data.
Wait, is this guy playing Tick for Tack?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can understand why we're
I
talking
think it's
about
Anthony, just like with a voice
Or
changer.
is he really asking legitimate questions? Because I
don't
think
think
he's
so.
just, playing Tick for Tack.
I'm just looking for data, Channel.
Well, you can go look somewhere else.
Join the
If
queue.
you're not satisfied with
We're looking for the data too, but the person who's supposed to be supplying it ain't giving it.
Doesn't have it.
Why are we here? You know what I mean? There's no
I'm
doubt.
a loser. Because there's a live show. There's a live show going on. Why wouldn't we be here?
I need my
Yeah, I want to
fake
be
spade. I need
famous.
it.
I'm here because God sent me.
I got what I wanted. And now I'm just hanging out.
You got the magnet and
I mean,
the waves.
that's
and the
that's how we started out.
So Riley's claimed that this is all a mirage. Something I actually tried on a flat Earth, and like the only way you can get something which would look remotely close to what he sees, you have to like distort the hell out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's
I love how they always go to a
insane.
table. They always go to their table. They can't go out in the real world and film it because it's not there. So they go to a table and they put some dominoes on it, and then the table's a little warped.
Oh,
Good stuff.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they got to keep their examples really small and inside. You can't let it out.
Oh.
I have a great question for any expert on the panel.
Let's not call it great yet.
Does
There are
moonlight
I mean, I don't think there are any experts here.
Oh my god.
does moonlight refract? So if I get Anthony to take video at night, would he get the same observation with moonlight?
Which
miles over
which
water.
part
Again,
of, which
light
part of
is light no
UV
matter
light
what
reflects?
adjective.
What
You
what
put
yeah,
before
what evidence or what kind of logic do you have to assume that the light coming off the moon is different than any other light source?
Well, first of all, it's already refracted. It comes right.
Reflected.
It's reflected, yes.
Kind of
It's
one
not
of the
refracted.
Is it polarized though? Is it?
No.
What's going on? And it's
not
white too.
polarized.
That's weird.
A good question, wasn't it?
No.
Do snowflakes have electromagnetic field?
Special snowflakes.
Yeah, there's a lot of snowflakes.
Here you go. I'm presenting a photo that was taken with moonlight. Doesn't look any different to sunlight, does it?
No, it doesn't actually. Wow.
I can't see it.
No, yeah.
That's when
That
you
was-
know how to use your
that
camera.
Yeah, that's a long exposure taken with nothing but moonlight. Gee, it looks like it was taken during the day, but it was actually taken with moonlight. Thereby proving that moonlight is the same as sunlight because it has all the same colours in it that sunlight does. You just need a much longer exposure.
You can't be bringing these good examples and scientific stuff to there. It's just too much to handle.
Does sun's electromagnetic waves bounce off the moon?
Oh.
Do
Yep.
magnetic waves bounce off stuff?
How many times do we have to tell you that there are no such thing as magnetic waves?
He's trying to trick us.
One and
You
the
just
same.
don't get it.
Yeah, it's a field. So does the field bounce off stuff? Let's say.
The magnetic field interacts with things. It doesn't bounce off. Magnetic fields don't bounce. They interact with other things.
Like everything, or what things?
Yep. Everything that's either magnetic or charged.
Or ferrous?
So is Anthony Riley going to come on tonight or not? Is he not prepared?
No, God, he's pretty much.
I
That's a
don't
shame.
think he's in the chat. He's boycotting.
Well, to be fair, the panel has been full for a minute.
Oh,
Oh, Rumpus is here. Yay, we can all go make a cup of tea and be back in an hour.
New guest, how you doing, Rumpus?
Hello.
Good to have you.
Very good. Glad you.
Nah,
I'm glad,
Nathan, don't lie like that.
I'm glad you
Rumpus.
appreciate me.
Hi, Rumpus.
Hey. hello.
Rumpus, he talks he says terrible things about you when you're not here. And when you are here, to be fair.
Well, yes, he didn't let me talk very much this morning, and he kicked out Jim Panda, so he's not too pleased to see me, I think. And what was it? Oh, I was looking at a Riley video or something. I've only just realised that when he talks about things going up and down, what he just means is that things that you can see are refracted, like in the Soundly video, move up and down. And he assumes that moving up means that the light is curving up. What he doesn't seem to understand is that if you're looking at something below you and it moves up, well, in the case of refraction, it just means it's being refracted down a little bit less because it varies. I've only just realised that these things most sensible people understand as things. You've got to really think down to the level of the flat earther as to how they can find problems in simple situations and not understand that less of a negative number, even if it gets less negative, it's still negative effectively. He doesn't understand, for instance, if you have £50 and then you have 49, you may have gone up, but you're still negative amount of money. And similarly with a refraction, he thinks, oh, it's gone up, therefore it's suddenly we've got the light's curving the other way. No, it's just not curving down quite so much. So I have to draw. Obviously, I'm going to have to draw my little presentation. I was like adding some bits showing the refraction still curving down, because of course curving down means that things move up, but just so how it can move up and down a little bit less and explain these things to him. But I mean, it's extraordinary the problems you can have an understanding, and for the sensible people, we just don't even visit those problem areas, and therefore we don't explain them.
Presuppositional argument alert.
It's very weird.
I have a question.
Based on the presupposition he lives on a globe.
What, speaking of up and down or even side to side, what is the force that keeps the Earth spinning? Not orbiting around the sun, but just spinning on its axis.
Inertia. If I throw a ball, it's inertia.
It's not a force. It's actually a lack of force that keeps it spinning. Because if there was force acting on it, it would change. It's a lack of force that keeps it spinning.
Remember Newton's first law.
That's right. If you were to throw a ball, if you were to get a cricket ball and you throw it into space away from the Earth,
energy,
and it would just carry on going. Similarly, if you started a cricket ball or something spinning in space, it would just carry on going because there's nothing to stop it. You've got, as Paul said, the first law of Newton: things will carry on doing what they're doing unless a force intervenes to stop them. We're just
do Newton's laws apply in space?
Of course they do. They apply everywhere.
They apply everywhere.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, don't answer.
Beg the
he's
question.
just testing you, quote unquote.
Good
thing. All right. Just
got me. I'm muted. All right.
They apparently don't apply on the flat Earth.
Got about 15 minutes left, just to let you guys know.
Thanks, Nathan.
Are we ending early today? Or when did you start?
He started about 2 hours ago.
No, this hangout's a waste of time. There's no flat earthers coming on. They don't have the balls, pardon the pun, to come on here and make their case or uphold their case, which is falling apart.
Well,
the other thing I'd like to address is Chris Monk's claim that we were seeing both Ireland and the Isle of Man in the image. The thing is, though, that islands in the distance tend to have less contrast and look faded out compared to islands that are in the foreground. I guess it must be that layer of dirty air that makes the islands in the distance look less contrasty. We just don't see that in Anthony's video.
Well,
we don't see a difference in contrast, do we? It kind of indicates that all of what we're seeing is the Isle of Man and not a combination of two islands.
At the very least, the land is at roughly the same distance away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because
otherwise we'd be seeing a distinct contrast difference, wouldn't we?
Right. Like over very long distances. So.
Yeah. Just thought I'd point that out. You know, that things in the real world actually look different to what they're claiming.
Right. That's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that. So
is this what it's like when the flat Earth dies? Is this the funeral?
In here, really?
No, I'm back.
I know, but you're the only one. Normally there's more.
Let's go back to Newton and everything applies in space. Real quick, I have a good question.
No, you don't.
So what is the Newton's law where equal and opposite, right? Which for every action,
Yeah, equal and opposite forces.
for every action, there's an equal and opposite, right?
Oh, you
There's-
mean
yes,
when things
there's
push
always
on each
pair
other,
forces.
they push on each other with the same force?
Yeah, which
Yes.
is kind of like that inertial. What you're talking about, the Earth spinning through space is force. A long time ago, it's fine, and so it's spinning.
No,
right?
there was no force that was applied.
No.
Initially, the solar system was spinning.
Initially?
Yes, there was a small amount of rotation, and then as things coalesced, the moments of inertia got smaller, and therefore, by the conservation of angular momentum, they started to spin faster.
So everything is spinning at the same speed, then, right?
No, they're spinning with they're spinning with a fixed angular momentum. The speed changes with the moment of inertia.
Okay, I guess my question, we can address that point. It's another good one. Right, my point was so
You don't know what a good one is, man. You just like to talk.
no. But those things, as the gentleman just said, would continue spinning through space because there's no nothing
force
to,
acting on them.
Yeah, nothing to slow it down, right?
Well, there is a force. There's gravitational force acting on them, but that is
There are interactions like tidal forces and stuff like that.
yeah.
To
So the
slow the Earth down?
speed is not constant, slowly changing.
I'm talking about the spinning of the Earth. Like, what keeps it from slowing down or speeding up? I think
it's called the conservation of angular momentum.
Okay.
Spinning
Look
ice
up
skate.
conservation of angular momentum.
Okay.
Why would you expect things to? Why would you expect it to slow down?
It is actually slowing down over time because of the tidal forces.
Yes, that's true.
Because of the weight on the Earth itself, right?
Because the water's being pulled by the moon and dragging, providing a friction force on the Earth.
So the
Because
moon,
the tidal bulge
That's
is
why we have
slightly ahead.
tides.
The tidal
And so-
bulge is slightly ahead, and the moon pulls on that tidal bulge, slowing the
So-
Earth down
so
slightly.
at some point, the moon is going to hit the Earth, right?
No, actually, it's the other way around.
Oh, so that force is getting less, not more, right?
Yep.
As things slow down, yes.
So
As
why is
angular momentum slows down.
So then why is there
'Cause there's-
slowing in its spinning if the force is getting less?
For the same reason, when you stick your arms out when you're spinning on a chair, you spin slower for the same exact reason.
Exactly.
Okay, so every year the moon, that force is getting further away, so I'm pulling my arms in every year, correct?
You're
No,
pulling
you're swinging them out.
Wait, what's pulling
The
my
distance.
arms out?
There's energy loss due to dissipation between the water and friction between the water on the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And as the water moves around, it dissipates energy, which means that the entire system is losing energy, and therefore it's rotating. The angular momentum is conserved, but the energy is decreasing. And so therefore the moon, in order to conserve angular momentum, has to move outward.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and there's the moon is what's pulling those waters out, right? Causing the Earth to slow in its spin, correct?
Yep, causing the entire system to slow down in its spin because
so
an equal and opposite force on the moon.
And what
from
is
the
that?
Water. From the water, because forces come in equal and opposite pairs.
And that's why the moon stopped rotating.
Okay.
There's friction between the water and the Earth, and so therefore energy is not conserved. Energy is lost as heat in the ocean, and therefore the angular momentum is conserved. So the energy is decreasing. Angular momentum is conserved. Therefore, the moment of inertia has to increase to make up for the loss in energy.
Guys, just to let you know, we've got about 5 minutes left.
Is magnetism a force?
No.
Magnetism is a field.
Okay, theoretically, is it a force?
It applies a force on charged particles. Force itself.
Okay. Is electricity a force?
No.
What do you mean by electricity?
Electricity is motion of charged particles.
Is electromagnetism a force? Is electromagnetism?
Yes.
Okay. So, what force does
No.
the sun have on the Earth out in space?
Gravity.
Good answer.
Yeah, real tough question there, Pod.
Awesome answer.
Why don't
So
you
with-
complete that sentence, Lewis? Gravity, you retard! Gravity.
Yeah.
So, apparently the Earth has some sort of field to protect it from this electromagnetic field from the sun.
Oh my God.
What? What are you talking about?
But it has no effect on how the Earth is spinning.
You're conflating.
What you just said
and
was did not make
making
sense.
He's talking about magnetic field keeping off the solar wind, surely. Is that what he's not talking about?
Very,
I don't know.
Very good, very good. And however minute that force might be, I'm just trying to.
Why
see
don't you just use the common words?
from the
Let's
panel
try
of
and stop a
experts.
train by throwing peas at it, hey?
But you said it is slowing down. You did say the Earth is slowing down in its rotation, and the
Yeah,
moon.
if we throw every bee on the planet plus a few trillion more, we might be able to stop a train.
But he also said that the cause of that slowing down, which would be the moon and causing tidal inertia stuff,
Causing energy to be
moving
dissipated due to
further
friction
away.
between the water and the earth. Yes.
moving further away, therefore having less effect on the spin of the Earth, correct? Or am I way off?
Less effect. What do you mean by less effect?
Aaron, I mean, I don't appreciate being tested by you. I find it annoying.
Well, then don't listen. It's okay. You can hang up.
If you're going to come up with a test, at least come up with something better.
I'm just asking very simple questions. What is the force that keeps
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Ask a more
we give
complex
very
question.
simple answer.
What is the force that keeps the Earth spinning? And you correctly said, I'm guessing, that there is no force. It's just flying through space. Right?
It's inertia.
right.
It's momentum.
Yes.
It's gravitational angular momentum.
Okay, but then another guy came on and said that no, the moon is acting on.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, if you have curiosities about the way things work and you want an answer, then you should frame it that way.
But you guys are experts on everything else. I mean, why not?
No, we're not, and it's
No,
okay to be wrong.
Anthony Riley's
Look,
the expert on everything, and he's
Right,
not
yeah,
here
that's
right
exactly.
now.
I'm sure if I asked Anthony,
it's okay. Look, Aaron,
I'm
it's
sure Anthony
okay.
can come up with 1,000 bullshit answers to satisfy you with.
give me one straight answer.
Careful, Q. Nathan will get all in a hufflepuff about the rules.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. Don't worry.
All right, so we are winding down the show with unanswered questions here. I'll be back.
Oh, there's always more questions, dude.
That's what science is about.
Well, you guys all show up as experts. I thought maybe you'd be a good panel.
No, we're just
What haven't we answered? Sorry, what haven't we answered?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought my answer was all right, guys. What do you think?
I
I
agree.
thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, which
That's
question
good.
haven't we answered, Aaron?
Okay.
That's why I didn't interject, because I
Well-
didn't think there was anything necessary left to be said about it.
The
I mean,
very
the
first-
question is which question haven't we answered multiple times? I think is a better question.
the very first question was answered. What force keeps the Earth spinning? And a guy
And
came
yeah,
on.
we basically malformed question
Okay.
next.
Then another guy came on and described
When did
how
you stop
that
beating
works.
your wife?
He described how that works, and it makes sense. The moon going around the Earth causes the tidals, like a roller skater with their arms out. Like I think Lewis brought that point up, where you spin slower, but you bring your arms in, you spin faster. Blah blah blah. And then
Why are you talking, man? I mean,
No,
you
no,
should
we
have
also-
some shame about your lack of knowledge. If you're, I mean,
we also covered
it's,
that
like,
the
it's just amazing.
moon-
Like you're pretending to know all this stuff, but you're asking a question. If you knew, you
the moon
wouldn't
is
be coming
moving
at it from this
further
angle.
away from the Earth, as the first gentleman agreed. He said, yes, the moon is moving further away from the Earth. So I asked, wouldn't that spinning, that tidal force that keeps the Earth spinning
become less, right?
Become less.
It's not the tidal force
it
that
would.
keeps the Earth spinning. It's not the tidal force that keeps the Earth spinning.
I
There is
didn't
no
say that.
force
Well,
keeping the Earth spinning. No, that's what you just said. You just
Well,
said the
another
tidal
gentleman
force that
said-
keeps the Earth spinning.
Yeah, another gentleman
That's not-
brought up my point, not me.
No one ever said that.
No one ever said that.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
said
that's what you heard, but nobody said that.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll go back and listen, but I think someone did say that, but it's okay because I don't.
No, they
You said it.
because that would be incorrect.
Okay, so what would the correct answer be?
The correct answer, we told you about 1,000 times, there is no force keeping the Earth spinning. It's a lack of force that keeps the Earth spinning. To stop the Earth
Okay.
spinning, we
Well,
would
there
need
no
a force to stop it
There's a force
spinning.
slowing the Earth down.
No force creates motion.
No, lack of
What?
force creates constant motion.
Okay, no force sustains.
You need a force. You need a force to change the motion.
Yeah, you don't need to sustain motion.
Okay, so that's
Motion
so you said the Earth is slowing down.
Aaron,
you said the
motion
Earth-
is.
Motion is as motion does.
The gentleman just said that you need motion to sustain motion, and you just said
No,
Nobody said that either.
The gentleman that said that is you.
But listen, you said the Earth is slowing down. Previously, you said that slowing down. And
Yeah, and there are forces. There are forces causing
what
this
is
to
causing
occur.
that?
And the force that's slowing it down comes from the moon.
How you doing, Physics Warrior?
You're full of shit, Paul. Lack of force.
No,
is
no,
nothing.
no need to swear.
This is what I'm
Done
getting
really
at.
well.
Now, if the force of the moon, whatever it's doing to cause that slowdown, if that force is getting further away,
Mm-hmm.
as you just said,
Let him
Down
finish.
will
I think I know where he's going.
what
Let him
happened
finish.
to the slowdown of the axis?
The slowdown will slow down. The rate of slowing down will slow down. Yeah.
But
You're correct.
the force is getting further away. It's becoming less effective.
All right, guys, we need to start doing some
That's
shout outs now.
Yeah,
Just to let you
shout out
know.
time.
Shout
out to
out
Ray.
Timkins. Shout out Ray. Good point. Shout out Timkins.
Shout me out,
Vinegar
Bobby.
Strokes. Shout out Vinegar Strokes for not drinking herself to death yet. Shout out Jabs to Sleep. Shout out Level Chemo for watching Boring Ballers in the Flat Earth debate. Well done. Shout out Slightly Looming Non-Standard Refraction Hyena. Shout out Alex Quaint and Mr. Timkins.
So Mr. Timkins like 3 times.
Shout out Mr. Timkins again.
Hang on.
Right. Nathan's gone now.
And with that, I will say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for joining us and sharing this stream. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.